The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Let me be your lighthouse so I can show you the way. Let me be your shining light, I'll keep you from drifting away. I'm the one that makes you try.
Hey, hello. This is Patty Hunter, and this is my show, Patty's Page. Welcome. So I have on my left a very special person who just won okay in the primaries. May 5th. Mm-hmm. This is Councilman Russ Jehl. I'll get it right.
Yay.
Yeah. This is okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On winning the Republican nomination in the recent primary.
Thank you.
Yeah. This means that you'll be running against Michelle Merritt.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Michelle Merritt? Or
yes, I think you said it right.
Yeah. This November, hey?
Uh-huh.
So congratulations, Michelle, for winning the Democratic nomination for councilman of the 2nd District here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So, what were you thinking when you were elected last 4 years ago?
Oh, 4 years ago, I was.
That's the first time you ever?
Yeah,
ran?
it was the first time I ran for office. I was shocked. I was honored, and you know what? 4 years later, I think every day I wake up and actually almost feel the exact same way.
Pinch. I'm doing what I want to do.
You got that right. I can't. I mean, I wake up every day and I have a job where I get to dream about how to make the city and the community a better place to live. I mean, that is. I mean, 4 years ago I could barely believe it, and today I still can't either.
So when you first started in office
Mm-hmm.
4 years ago, was it mind-boggling? You had to get everything all situated in your head, and you have a whole staff to help you and all that?
Oh no! I mean, city council's a part-time job.
Oh yeah.
We have one staff member, and there are 9 council members.
Oh yeah.
So it's definitely a hands-on job. It's definitely roll up your sleeves. Your staff's certainly not going to do it for you.
Well, how did you learn over the years?
Well, I've had a lot of good people helping me out going into it. And one of the smartest things I did was I spent the year before attending every council meeting, reading every budget, reading every comprehensive annual financial report. And so you can't ever be completely ready to step into a role like that. I mean, it's a $190 million budget.
Whoa.
You can't, I mean, that's still, drinking water out of a fire hose. But, I did do my homework ahead of time. And so I was fortunate to kind of hit the ground running. Another really just great thing I did was there's about 2 months between the election and when you actually take office. And I tried to meet with every department head as well, and talk with them, find out what they were doing and what was going on, what to expect. So had a little bit of time also to kind of step into the role before we actually took office.
Do you remember what your first duty was 4 years ago? What you had to do?
I remember the first kind of tough vote or big thing that come up was right after the election. We all found out that Citizen Square didn't have elevators that worked and needed to find $1 million for it.
Wow.
So
Citizen Square didn't have any. Really?
It was a post-election surprise, so that's why I remember it very well.
So what are the other duties that you do in office?
What City Council is responsible for is we are the legislative branch of city government.
Yeah.
City government has an executive and a legislative. The judicial branch is still reserved to the county functions. And so city councils are responsible for the budget and for passing ordinances, which are, kind of, I guess you could think of them as local laws. That's
Who works
those
with
are our
you?
responsibilities.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who works with you when you're doing these laws, these local laws? Do you have the mayor helping you? No.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
obviously.
really?
Yeah, most of the ordinances, most of the budgetary items are originated out of the administration and then come to council for our work, our approval, our amendment. And and the primary core responsibilities that we're responsible for are public safety, fire, police, parks, roads, and then the water utilities as well.
So you think we are doing very well now since you have come into the office?
Well, we have taken some major steps forward.
Oh, like what?
Several things that I'm very proud of that we have done.
Oh, yeah.
And there's still a lot to be. There's still a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, it's
still
never
to be,
ending.
but yeah.
So, what is your most victory? What you have done in the past 4 years? What has improved immensely through your office?
Sure. Well, there've been several victories. I like to go back to what I promised before the people entrusted me with this position, which is I promised I'd stand for three things. I promised I'd stand for fiscal responsibility, that I would support common sense job creation policies, and that I would work to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure. And so if you kind of want to go over some of those general
the
achievements.
crumbling infrastructure, you said. What's happening with that?
Well, 4 years ago, money was especially tight in the city, and the city was basically not fixing roads. And if you think about it, every year, Mother Nature
Does her damage?
decomposes. Yeah, does her damage to roads, and if you're not maintaining roads, you get a huge backlog of crumbling streets, and that's where we were at, and that's still what we're digging out from. But in that particular item, I'm really proud that it, as a bipartisan effort, the council and the administration have tripled the infrastructure budget, the road budget specifically, and so now we are fixing more roads than Mother Nature is destroying. And so, and beyond that, we actually have a real 5-year plan and a financing in place, and we didn't just simply swipe our kids' credit card and say, okay, we're going to have great roads now, and our next generation of kids can figure out how to pay for our roads now and their roads later.
So you have
we've actually got a
plan.
real plan in place, and it's going to take a couple years to get them back where they need to be, but we are doing it, and I'm excited to be a part of that.
Do you have anything to do with with the homeless or here in Fort Wayne?
Well, obviously, we do have some role in that particular issue.
Yeah, that seems to be the big
The
thing.
biggest item would be just the fact that we are local leaders and that this is our city.
Yeah.
The vast majority of programs are either federal or state funded,
Right.
or locally funded through private sector charities, and that's so we actually, you can't actually point to anything and say, okay, the city is responsible for this homeless program. That's just at this point not, or has not traditionally been the role
Come together
of
as a
city council.
community.
But there is the Hands Board, which is a local portion of government. It's primarily controlled by the executive branch, the mayor's office, as far as the appointments go. They receive the federal funds, and a lot of those can go towards those sorts of charities. And just in the last month, they did announce that they would be providing $250,000 to local charitable endeavors, specifically for homelessness.
Homelessness.
So that was a little bit of a long answer to say yes, there is a role, and
Yes.
the city is doing it.
I thank you.
Specifically, city council. That's not something that we have much purview for, but I'm real happy that the administration is seeing that need, stepped up to the plate.
Yeah.
And just as a side note, the greatest achievement that I've seen in the last 4 years having to do with homelessness was Fairfield Commons, which is helping kids out of foster care.
Yes.
And I was fortunate to be the broker for Scan and Safi. And so there are over 30 kids with a roof over their head right now, and I had a small part in that. So, but not on a council role. That's part of
what you're
just
doing,
that
yeah.
real world that we talk about. Local people, local charities. They are, they have the ability to love and care, and they're doing that. And I'm real glad to see that happening in our community.
See, I'm with Three Rivers Arts Center for Kids.
Good.
We help.
Yeah.
We're trying through the arts, with the arts,
Yeah.
help abused or neglected kids.
Great.
And also trying to help the homeless children as well.
Good.
And we're getting a panel together with Senator Dennis Cruz
Good.
and other people who deal with mental health
Mhm.
as well as homeless.
Mm-hmm.
And we're trying to get things together so we can get moving on, helping all the children here in Fort Wayne.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Good work.
Yeah, it's slow going.
No, but it's. I mean, isn't it just fun to?
Yeah, yeah. We're on
way
the
to
bottom
go.
up.
I mean, that sounds like a really exciting.
It
really
is.
exciting charity.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having you join us.
Well, let me know. We'll talk about it.
All right. Okay. Well, let's change the subject here. What other community services have you been involved with? So.
Oh, okay. City Council, real proud to be a part of that. I'm also on the Allen County Solid Waste Board, and also the Joint Permitting Oversight Board as well. So those are some other things that are kind of related, but are community service in that sense. On the private sector side, I'm fortunate to sit on the Parkview Select Committee and also the Fort Wayne Sports Corporation.
Sports.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
What kind of sports? All kind of sports.
I mean, those are just kind of like bullet points. What I'm really proud of, and what I've just get real passionate about was for 7 years I was a varsity assistant coach for Concordia's
Oh, you're a coach?
high school team.
Just football?
And I'm not able to do that any longer since City Council, but
yeah.
I guess when I go back and think of things that I'm actually, proud of and charitable endeavors, that's really at the top.
So when you were a kid, you did a lot of sports?
Yeah, absolutely.
What kind?
Yeah. I've been a soccer nut. I still am. And so that's really where my passion is. And I think my family history with the Lifetime Sports Academy.
Yeah.
I guess just coming from that legacy of knowing that sports can transform lives, that sports can instill character.
Yes.
That I've experienced that. I look back to the sometimes the tenacity that's needed to really fight for our community and fight for the people. And I learned that from the soccer field.
We're trying to get the arts back into schools.
Good. Mm-hmm.
Really. Because
well, they're all necessary. I mean, they work different parts of your mind, your body. I mean, we are such, God's made us such complex creatures that you can't just only do reading, writing, arithmetic.
yeah,
and
you
be
have to
well-rounded.
have a culture,
Absolutely.
creation. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And with all these, what do you call this? Not telephones. What do you call those things?
You talking about your smartphones? and
Smartphones. See kids really using that more than doing anything, going out to play or whatever. In our day, in the old days,
Yeah.
we went out and played.
Yeah. Well, all important. You know what? If you use that technology well, I mean
That's
that
good.
actually boosts kids' IQ if you do it in balance.
If you do it in balance, but if you overdo it.
I look at my son, where I grew up right at the beginning of that video game age,
Yeah.
and everything was only 2-dimensional.
Right.
And now I'm seeing my son play his video games,
Right.
and they're all 3-dimensional.
Oh, right.
And there's no doubt about it. My son sees spatially in multiple directions and dimensions better than I did as a child. So it's all an issue of whether you can take that technology and truly use it well, or whether it becomes a crutch that makes your mind lethargic.
It's like watching too much TV.
Yeah. Case in point, that's my part. That's
I
my
know.
problem. that's why my mental development stopped.
When we first had TV when I was a child, when it first came, I was born before we had our first TV. Mom said we were glued to the TV all the time.
Yeah.
Mom would only allow us certain amount of time during the day. You do your homework or something else during the summertime. You go out and play. But Mom, out. Unplugs the TV and says, "You're not going to watch TV. You're going to be in the house all day, especially when it's a nice day out there," etc., etc.
Well, when I need to get my kids out and playing in the yard, I'm going to call you up.
Okay, out you go.
You'll get them out for me.
Yeah. Oh, speaking about kids,
Yeah,
you're pro-life,
absolutely. Yes.
definitely. So, what do you do there with the pro-life? Do you help out Allen County Right to Life? Or?
Well, I'm obviously in the city council role. We don't get into social issues very often. But insofar as I am, honored to be a leader in the community, I do then proudly march in the Right to Life and participate where needed, where I can be of assistance. Because our community is better off the more that we respect life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Do you think the younger generation are starting to become more pro-life? Have you
in
noticed
many ways,
that?
and I've seen some statistics where I think where our younger generation, and I'm not by any means an expert, but I've seen statistics where our younger generation seems to understand that an unborn baby is a
alive.
baby, and
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So you say you are a councilman of the 2nd District
Mhm.
here in Fort Wayne.
Mhm.
Now, you don't work every day as a councilman, do you?
Yeah, it's
Is it a 9 to 5 type thing?
It is truly a position that you can put as much as you want into it, and I do my best to work hard at it.
Do you go to Indianapolis?
And I think we thrive on that. One of the great things about it, though, is it's a part-time position.
Part-time, yeah.
And so you do. There is a little bit of a balance because you have to live your life in the real world. And I think for elected officials overall, I think that's a great thing. I still have to come home with a real paycheck from my primary job.
Yeah.
I still have to come home to my family and be a father and balance all those things. And so, although I find it to sometimes be inconvenient, it never stops. It is a 7-day-a-week job. It's an honor, and not only that, I find that, if we talk about tax increases, you know what? I mean, I'm still there. I'm still trying to figure out how to make our money at my home work, and I understand that when we take out money out of people's pocket, there's not much money there. It's hard enough to make it as it is, and so
who minds the books at home?
Yeah, I guess I'm just honored to be in the position.
So who does the financial stuff at home? You?
Oh, at home? Oh, now you're asking a real question.
Hello.
I have a wonderful, magnificent wife, and
Monica.
Yeah, and I guess if truth be told, she wears the financial pants in our
You
household.
betcha. My
I'm
husband is
blessed
the
for
one
it.
that does that in our family because he knows me better than that.
Yeah.
So I'm embarrassing myself. Anyways, when
Honey,
you're...
I love you. Thanks for all you do for our family.
She does a good job.
Yeah.
Does she ever help you with your counselor?
Oh yeah.
She does?
Yeah.
She's your right hand?
Absolutely. We just had kind of our primary fundraiser for this particular primary season.
Yeah.
And my wife put it together from A
Oh,
to
she's
Z,
good.
and it was a blast. If you've ever been to political events, they stink. They are no fun. Nobody wants to show up to them, and you just put in your time. You clock in, you clock out. Monica handled this one, and it was
excellent.
I think most people left forgetting it was a political event because she took it all on. She did.
She's really
top-notch
100%
job.
into this, just as much as you are.
She's great.
And the kids help you out too?
Yeah, of course they do.
Of course.
Of course they do. I mean,
Are they going to be politicians when they grow
look,
up?
we're on television now. This is not a pretty face to vote for, but my
you're all
family,
right.
my wife, my kids, they are definitely
You think your kids will be
my better
interested in
three quarters.
politics?
What's that?
You think your kids will be interested in politics as they grow up?
Oh,
Or
I hope that they will continue
Yeah.
to understand that part of what drives me into public service is the saying really is true. The way for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. And so it's incumbent upon every one of us, to take the blessing that we have of our republic, our democracy, whether we're Republican, Democrat, whether we're conservative, liberal, whatever our political persuasion, and fight for it because evil will never rest, and
we have to continue.
So we all have to play our role.
Win the race.
Absolutely.
Win the
Absolutely.
race.
Freedom never stays free.
You betcha.
That's
We'll
just not the
always-
natural order of it.
Yeah, we human beings are all the same no matter what generation. And we have to remind ourselves that we have to do good to help each other out and be more compassionate.
No, but I certainly hope that they have more noble endeavors than the political profession.
So,
I'm just kidding.
you're running for re-election in November 2015. So what are your goals for
My goals? Well, you know what? I haven't changed my message. I believe that our city, our community will thrive and excel if we are fiscally responsible, if we understand how to do smart job creation policies and employ those, and if we truly do the things that we are responsible for doing. Infrastructure, public safety, parks, roads, that is what, and of course the water. And if we do those things well, I believe that we will continue to thrive as a community. And so I am proud of the steps we've made in all of those areas. And I believe that that if we continue to manage our money, our tight money well, that we will not just do the things that we're responsible for well, but that we can do other great things. Obviously, probably the number one issue this time around is going to be the legacy fund. And the most important thing for us to do is to spend it wisely, to be protective of it, and take that same attitude that our previous generation had, which is that it's an asset, not to be friddled away with frivolous spending. So those are the same things I'm working on, and I want to see those things that we've made progress on continue.
So with the legacy, how long has that been in existence, the legacy?
Basically for the last about 3 years or so.
3 years?
Since it was actually funded. It's been in the works
So they have
longer.
their own people putting money in, not the government, but private sector?
The funds come from the sale of the city's light utility to I&M Power. So it is another utility that is making annual installments to the city.
That's all right. So what would you like to say to my audience about Fort Wayne and how well you think of it and all that? And what can you do for us?
Well, this is my city. This is where I grew up.
You were born here?
Yes, this is so this is the town I've always known, and this is where my wife and I have chosen to raise our children.
Right.
And one day I want them to have the same opportunities that I've been blessed with, and so that's really starts with our leadership. That starts with our government, and whether or not we are being good stewards with what we have. And so, that's why I'm out here. That's why I'm in public service. And
we need to get
I
more,
will-
what's the word, more involvement, the community involvement.
Absolutely, absolutely. Everybody needs to step
Yes.
up. Everybody.
Yes.
I mean, just like we said,
And vote.
good men and women.
Mm-hmm.
The only way for on the other side of it, the only way for good to triumph, for us to move forward, is for good people to step up and be involved. Absolutely.
Wow, that was heavy duty. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. You got me fired up. Let's go.
Let's go for another half hour. I don't think so. Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you so much, Patty.
Councilman
Appreciate
Russell
it. Thank you.
Jehl, and I said it right. And this is, where am I? This is me, Patty Hunter. Thank you for coming on to my show. This is very enlightening half hour we had with the councilman, and I hope to have him on as a guest. Again, you're invited to come back
Thank
if
you.
you wish.
I appreciate it.
So, would you rather I have you on after the election in November?
Let's do that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
we can chit chat, and there you go.
That'd be great.
So this is Patty Hunter saying goodbye, and God bless. See you next week.
Godspeed, my love, until we meet again. You're always in my heart and every dream. Don't let this time apart give in to all our fears. God will keep us close from up above.